Hi guys, it's Katie with Begging for Balance. We're going to do another Facebook Live with Denise from Family Canine Training tonight. We've done it for a few weeks now and it seems to be pretty, working out pretty well. So we'll just wait for Denise to join up on here and then I'll be able to add her in. I'm not sure exactly what the topic is going to be tonight. I think we might talk about some common dog problems that people have, and we will chat all about that, and we'll answer any questions you guys have. So if you have any questions and you come on, just type them in, and we will answer your questions to the best of our ability. So, I don't know where she is. She knows she's supposed to be on here right now. Oh, here she is. Hold on. I think maybe she's probably sharing this on her page, I'm guessing. There she is. Okay.
You know what? You know this thing takes forever. You're over here gonna talk smack that I'm not, that I'm late.
No, it's okay. It's only 3 minutes after 7.
I wasn't late. I was here waiting for the notification. It's hard.
Right.
It's hard when you're waiting for the thing to pop up, and I keep refreshing your page.
I know. Were you able to share it onto your page or not?
Yeah. I just shared. I think I just shared it. Yeah, I just shared it.
Okay. So hopefully we'll have some viewers. Otherwise, we'll get started talking because it's good for the replay viewers that we don't just sit here and twiddle our thumbs.
Replay viewers are the best. They're the ones that
Yeah.
are watching from bed in their pajamas and they watch the whole thing because they have time.
Right.
You
look very pretty tonight. Your hair looks really nice.
I took a shower. Thank you. I took a shower.
Did you curl it or is it always that curly?
No, it's always frizz.
Or do you straighten it? Do you or not?
No. Mm-mm. Occasionally I'll like blow dry it, but it's what do you call it? It's straight from the shower. You warned me about looking presentable because I always look a little crazy. That was my promise.
Hey, neither one of us are in our pajamas right now.
Oh yes, yes I am.
Oh, you are?
I am.
Oh my God.
You didn't say anything about the bottom portion.
That's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
I forgot the topic today.
That's one of the best. So I said, are we talking about common dog problems that people have? Or did we want to talk about, like after dogs go home and after they've done training, some common things that might happen for people if their dog starts to backslide at all?
Yeah, we can do both if we have time, and depending on the questions tonight, but we can do both. Common dog problems, or common dog owner problems, was that pulling on the leash, right? That's a big one.
Oh yeah.
A lot of even sometimes after the board and train, after you've given some good information in there. The common problem that I see is that adrenaline that dog has, that excitability that dog has. In certain situations, it isn't addressed. It isn't helped. We don't want to like massacre their personality or anything, but like, for example, I don't want my dog ramped up when I'm about to go for a walk. I don't want my dog ramped up when she's about to go to the groomer. I don't want her ramped up when she's about to go to the vet. Because when the dog's really, really aroused, bad things can happen, or the opposite, where the dog's just like, can't focus. Not that necessarily is bad, but if you've got a dog that will like bite the vet's face off, arousal is still the common thing. So when they're,
Yeah.
when they're like that, checking in that energy is a lot of important.
You know what's really interesting about that, Denise? I'm going to interrupt you. Is, you mentioned like some of the more difficult places to take your dog. And I had a call. I forgot to mute my. Are we still good?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, no.
Okay, I think we're still good. You mentioned the three really important, kind of more difficult places to take your dog. But what's really important too is that you can control that arousal even when you're going somewhere where maybe your dog normally does get aroused and you like it. Like if you take them to the park to play ball, or you like to take them somewhere to go swimming, like maybe you go to the beach and your dog gets highly adrenalized. Swimming, that
Like that.
swimming. So, it's important to practice it on both sides, not just like when you're going to the vet or when you're going to, somewhere where you need the dog to be well behaved, but also to practice controlling that arousal and, kind of cutting it before you go somewhere where the dog is going to get highly adrenalized. So, my dog gets really adrenalized. Lana, if I take her to the park to play Chuck It, she loves it. And she will get like all drived up just knowing, oh, we're going there.
Yeah.
So one way that I can stop that is before we ever leave, being really strict. So you're absolutely not gonna, blow off commands inside here when I know that when we get to the park, your energy level is going to be 10 times higher than it is here. So if you're already amped up here, it's going to be way worse when you get there. So
Totally.
it's the same, addressing it the same way, regardless of which place you're going to go.
Yeah. So you like addressing stuff in the car?
So what?
You're addressing stuff in the car?
Oh yeah, I always address dogs, any kind of whining or like anxiety that I can hear the dog like heavily panting or starting to get really highly aroused as soon as they get in the car. I kind of correct that more firmly than I would just for like whining. I want to try to cap that excitement so that they're not continuing to escalate.
Yeah, my dog gets like that when Margot's around, her BFF. So even if we're doing something like the pack walk, the trainer's dog is the craziest dog out of the whole bunch. And she's like, "Oh, my friend!" And then so like what happens is if I don't do anything about it, which sometimes I don't, like owner problems, right? You guys are not the only ones who have it. Then she's, it'll take her a minute to snap out of it. Like it's not play mode. And that's what she starts doing. She'll start the play bowing, and then it's like like electricity just hit her. And she's
well, and like, Denise, you let that go and it's okay because she's not struggling in other areas. If she started struggling with going, if you wanted to take her, say, to the store, and that the same behavior started happening then, I'm sure that you would address it. Right. And you would probably have to change, her time with Margot. Like you'd have to adjust it just based on, how she does.
Totally.
And that's what's important that, that owners just realize sometimes addressing one thing is not all that needs to be done. Sometimes you have to, it has to be more of a blanket.
Yeah. Well, our owners have tools, right? Our owners have tools. What kind of things, it's limited, but what kind of things can regular owners who don't have tools, who maybe want to get tools on the fly or cheap, if they don't know how to do like energy stuff, what can they do possibly to, tell a dog to knock it out, knock it off, some kind of an interrupter. But most of those things don't work if the relationship is already screwed up as it is. And we talk about relationship a lot. What is a relationship? Your history, your patterns, your boundaries, your current rules, your previous rules, all that builds up what is the relationship between you and your canine. So sometimes that energy stuff doesn't quite work unless like your dog's grown up around it, around you, or even if you know, if you even if you've adopted your dog, if you haven't established that, that'll take you know, a bit to work. Oh well, this doesn't work. What she said, it's, you know, it's gonna take some time too. So I mean, what other tools would you like? Do you have or you suggest to your people if maybe if it's a younger dog and dog's not on all the tools? And what I mean by tools, like what we use e-collar,
Okay.
prong, we have
Okay. I understand what you're saying. So I would think that one of the easiest tools to break, you know, the progression of arousal is the crate door. So in the morning and anytime you take your dog out, you're going to use the crate door. So you're not going to allow your dog to, I'll read the question after. I can't read and think and talk at the same time. I see it, but I'm not reading yet.
Right.
So it's going to be the crate door. Most people, especially people with young dogs, they have their dogs crated. So your dog probably charges out of that kennel in the morning, or when you're ready to go somewhere, the dog is probably just 100 miles an hour out the crate door. So what I do is close the door on their face. Like basically don't let them rush out. And I like to tell people, close it with as much intensity as your dog has for charging out of there.
Yeah.
So there are some dogs that will just like nose out just a little bit, like, oh, I really kind of want to go. And I just close it gently for them. But if you have a dog that's like a complete bulldozer and is just like raring to go, then you're gonna need to, you know, kind of shut it pretty firmly on them. And then you're gonna see the dog waiting for permission. Like, oh, I can't just blast out of here. When can I go out? You know, you see it. Like, when are you gonna allow me out? Yeah. And when they go into that state of like waiting patiently, then, you know, put your leash on and invite them out. Usually what happens is you put the leash on and they get all energized again. Yeah. They get ready to go again. So you got to close it again. And then same thing, open it up, and you should be able to almost step out of the way so that you're not holding them in with your spatial body pressure. Be able to step a little bit out of the way. And then the way that you invite them out of the kennel is important too. If you say, let's go, Daisy, you know, the dog is going to run out of there. And you've ruined the whole thing because they're going to be highly adrenalized again. So you want to try to use like sort of monotone voice and slowly say, let's go. So it's not, you know, come on, let's go. Let's go ride. And that's, you know, another thing that we've talked about, I know you and I, is if you ask your dog, like, do you want to go for a ride? You want to go swimming? Yeah. They will feed into that energy. So don't really ask them where they want to go. If you want to keep their energy down, you know, just say, let's go, and start going. So
it's amazing. People have tools without even realizing that they have a tool. Like there is little things that you can do. Like you explained the whole kennel thing. I don't even think of that, but you said we do it every day. All of our boarding things, our own personal dogs, like don't rush out of the door. Like, what do you think?
Right.
Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
It does help with that a lot.
Well, and when you leave to go somewhere, you have at least 3 opportunities for that. So you have the kennel door, you have your front door to your house, and then you have the car door. And all 3 of those should be treated the same. Like the dog should not be rushing out the front door. They should not be rushing into the car either. So I like to open the car door and have my dog sit. And then when I say like, let's go, or load up, or whatever you want to use for, you know, tell your dog, jump up there. But they should wait for permission. They shouldn't just be on autopilot.
Yeah. And Kathy's using a bonker because Kathy Johnston says, I use a random piece of clothing that's nearby as a bonker when my cat tries to wake us up at night. Easy tool. She's using it on the cat.
That's great. That's great. I've actually been using a little rolled up bonker for our puppy. He's 10 weeks old. When we first got him, he would chase our kitten and like tackle her. I mean, full on body, like take her down. Yeah. And I had to stop that. So, you know, I'm not like throwing it super hard. It's a very young dog, but lightly throw it. I say no and just lightly throw it. And that has stopped it. And now they're actually like playing together a little bit. And he's a little bit more respectful of not just, you know, full speed tackle football style at her.
Yep. Clarification. So, a bonker is a rolled up towel. So specifically a larger hand kitchen towel for large dogs. So when you tightly wound it up, it creates some weight to it. For the puppy that she has, about 11 weeks old, she's using a smaller version because she's gauging the intensity on that towel.
Right.
And the reason that the towel is being used is just as an interrupter. The dogs don't like projectiles, which is something that's flinging towards them. They kind of like, meh. It doesn't create any type of like hate, hand shyness. Like, you know, she's not just trying to eliminate behaviors. She's actually instilling a whole roundabout program, because it's not just about, you know, that's not what we do. We don't like just
go around bonking all the dogs and that's it.
Right. We're actually showing you what we want you to do, and also telling you what we don't want you to do, because we have clients that come with these problems and nobody can take care of them by themselves. Even if they use tools, the tools don't make the training at all, whether you're doing it at home or we're doing it. I have dogs all the time that I have to reteach or re-engage them with, for example, an e-collar tool that we use. We won't get into like a whole bunch of it, but reteach the whole thing, because it's only been for like that you know, bad, instead of incorporating it in the way that we do. Good, do that. Good, do that. And the one moment that you do that, no, don't do that. Good boy, do that. And it's a lot of, you know, people look at it the wrong way, but it's a like 90%, 95% all good boys and good girls, and the other 5% are the behaviors that we're like knocking out. That's what we're addressing in this one. Mm-hmm. I got family in here.
Awesome.
I see my cousin. I see my sister's godfather. Interesting. I guess that your name comes up. What's up, Georgie? Anyway, so okay, the crate. What else? What else do you suggest?
Oh, so what are? Oh, for tools to break arousal. You know, another simple tool that you can get, which you could use like if you had a reactive dog or if you had a dog who was really explosive, is a pet convincer. It's just a burst of air, and it usually isn't.
Do you have it handy, your pet convincer, and your doggy don't?
No, I don't. They're in the other room.
Get it, fetch.
All right, grab it. Do you have? I'll go get it. I think I got both.
Grab both of them while you're at it. We do this all the time. I tell her what to do and she goes. I'm just kidding. How you doing? We're answering dog training questions. This is Denise with Family Canine Training, and that's Katie begging for balance. She's in New York. You see all that snow behind her? Yeah.
It's melting away. Even though it's freezing out there, it's slowly melting away.
Yeah, pull out the good stuff, girl. Pull it out.
Okay. So this is a pet convincer, and this is I think this is like an extender piece, so they don't all go out this far. Some of them are shorter, but this is a little cartridge of compressed air is in here, and when you squeeze it, it just goes. Psh, and this one's actually empty right now.
That's the thing that goes in bicycle tire pumps, the CO2.
Yeah, I can show you because this one is empty. I can show you. And I actually get the cartridges at the bike store. You can buy them on Amazon and stuff, but this one I bought just at a local bike store. But this is it seriously interrupts your dog's behavior. So if you have a dog who is very reactive to like let's say reactivity to other dogs, and you know that as soon as your dog, gets within 10 feet of another dog, it's going to start exploding. What I would do is look at the dog that I'm handling and use this when you see your dog start to get aroused at that other dog. So one of the first signs I've seen, some of the dogs start panting. They start really being like, and they look, you'll see like they're looking straight, they're walking, then they see another dog, their ears go forward and their forehead wrinkles up. And that's when you want to use a tool like this. I actually hold it behind me, behind my back, point it at the dog behind my back, so they don't know where it's coming from. And it just goes, psh, and the dog is so surprised. They're like, oh, I saw a dog. Psh, and then they look right up at you.
Yeah.
And they forget that the dog even exists over there most of the time. And then it's a good idea to, just say heel and keep them walking. Yeah. But, that's kind of a little different than what you're saying, like getting aroused and excited about going somewhere. But you have to remember that arousal is similarly rooted, even though it has different end points for the dogs. So yep. Some get highly aroused over, a ball, and some get highly aroused over the possibility of a fight or keeping people away or whatever. So that's the pet convincer. And this is called a doggy don't.
That's my favorite.
So this is battery operated and it sounds like a taser. I'm not pushing it because all the dogs are sleeping right now and I'm not going to push it, but it sounds like a stun gun or something. Yeah. And it doesn't do anything other than just a noise. And I like to use both of these tools to keep away off-leash dogs. So I always recommend that my owners carry some sort of tool when they're walking their dogs to keep away off-leash dogs that might cause harm to your dog. And I don't even let off-leash dogs come up and say hi to my dogs. I don't know what their intentions are. And sometimes the dogs that I'm walking are not okay with other dogs. So I just use these tools to keep away stray dogs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So. Do you ever find that, like, as you're using it, like, say for an off-leash dog, that it, like, it'll scare your pack or whatnot? Because, like, my dog hates the pet, like, my female hates the pet convincer. However, if you spray water, she might want some more. But, like, the pet convincer, she's like, ah, my God.
Yeah. Yeah. They get a little nervous with it. Like, Lana gets more nervous than any of them, but she gets a little nervous. I'll see her, like, kind of dancing around a little bit, but I've dealt with a lot of off-leash dogs, and they actually, right after, you can tell the dogs are actually like thankful that I took care of it. They didn't have to deal with it. Yep. And we're on our walk. Like, yep. They relax right away. So they might be nervous when the actual sound goes off for a second, but then, they realize that dog is gone. They don't have to worry about the threat, and then right back on the walk. So I always make sure I have their leashes in hand when I'm going to push it so that, obviously in case they try to run away or something, but I've used it so many times. I've used both of these tools so many times with off-leash dogs, and it doesn't like freak my guys out so bad that, they've heard it. So,
you need it until it happens to you, man. Legit. I was gonna have a heart attack when that happened to me. A female pity, like, was, she wanted me and another dog real bad, and like, that was pretty close, and I didn't have a tool. So lesson there, did not have a tool. I had to, like, keep her off of us however way I could, keep that other dog really close, and wait for that owner to come around and come get her off of us. So that was But yeah, the face of thankfulness was really, really real. And I don't want to see that again, but it was interesting to see on the dog. And it was a very fearful dog. So
Yeah.
that was pretty close. So
Yeah.
out of all places,
And you always, even if you walk in a place where, you know, there's a leash law, there are always
well,
dogs
not
that
a
will
dog
get
park
loose.
for me. Hey, girl.
Yeah. It will happen at the most
Pushy, snotty
inopportune
behavior.
moment, really. Hey,
She's
Bella!
demanding attention. That's pushy, snotty behavior.
Because she heard us talking about swimming and now she's ready to.
Yeah.
So,
Poor little girl. She has
so
such a life. Um, somebody, Dewey understands when Ada, the cat, is getting told no with the doggy don't. And he loves when the cat is told no.
Dewey is a client that I trained and he's quite a character. He's a really cute dog.
You have
He's
good
comical.
house, Kathy. Good work. We got the cats lined up.
Yeah, you can come train my cat because I don't train cats. And I posted a video today training a dog and I had to lock up my kitten. She did not like having to be put away while I was making the video and training the dog. So there was like meow, meow,
Yeah,
meow. She just kept meowing the whole video. So, but
you should have recorded.
oh well.
It would have been no, but maybe he was getting nervous.
She will just go right up to the dogs and she's not really afraid of them at all. And she'll like, he has a big fluffy tail. So she goes over and she's like, hey, let's, let me play with that. And then he's like, what are you doing? Why are you touching me? And it's very hard to get, any training done like that. So once he's better with distractions, we'll be fine. But right now, it's definitely a challenge. So
cool.
So anyway,
but Kathy says cats mostly train us, but I don't compromise at night. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. All excited. All parties are done at 11 p.m. No more.
Right.
No more party. Party. No. Laugh. Can you laugh at my joke?
I'm too serious to be. I'm sorry. I'm too serious. I'm thinking it's already 7:30. We've got topics to cover.
I'm such a cornball.
It's okay.
You never laugh at my
jokes. I'm sorry.
Understand. Oh, tools. What else? Okay, pet convincer. Doggy don't. Yeah. What else? I can't think of anything else. I mean, you can always.
Well, we talked about the bonker, but
yeah. Can always add a prong in there. Most people are like, "Ooh, prong! They're so scary." I love prong collars. They're awesome. That's a decent tool. For getting, good communication in there. Someone's having a party back there.
Were we talking about this because of pulling on the walk, or was I don't remember how we got onto this.
I don't know.
Was it because of that pulling on the walk?
No, just arousal in general because it's an issue.
Yeah,
it's an issue. For example, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you two examples with the same dog. Like I was on a live and I'm talking about Max, the husky. He's doing so good, so good, and then and then something, and then now, I guess some dogs don't deal with change well, right? So long story short, he's got a arousal situation going on. So he went home from vacation and feels like he wants to crate break, right? At the pack walk, when he saw us at the pack walk, He was all focused. He focuses really well on handler. He's got great focus until he doesn't, right? Something caught his attention. And what I was teaching other people to do, and his owner as well, is to cut the arousal. Because once he got me in his eyesight and like other things around the park that he'd never been to, he started getting really adrenalized and really aroused. So the moment that the owner just enforced that heel and requested his focus, I think he either used his the dog's prong collar or maybe the e-collar, I'm not sure, like very low level stuff. And the dog's like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm focused, I got it. And then just like that, without being dramatic or anything, he got his dog's attention back. He hadn't seen me for a while at that one pack walk, and then he's never been there. So all the leaves, flowers, you name it, new place, other dogs, we're going to the pack walk. So he got aroused. So that's, it came about because it's an issue. So that's a dog that also, was trained. But you got to remember, these dogs have like a mind of their own, and they get excited. Young dogs get really excited. He's only like a year and change, going on 2 soon. He's still a young dog. So that's where that came about. I see that problem, issue, I guess. It's easily fixed, but it's easily missed too. So I see that as a common problem. Even just a reminder. It doesn't take much. And when he took him home, as he was walking out, he was all totally focused on him. So it just takes a little tweaking, not
well, and it's important. You said it doesn't take much. It's really important to remember that the dogs are ramping up. So they start out just like a little bit aroused, like, oh, just a little bit. And at that point, it doesn't take much to break the arousal. But as time goes on, if it keeps snowballing and the dog becomes more and more aroused, you could be, dropping a bomb next to the dog and they're not even going to notice it because they're so highly aroused. Yeah. So it's really important to go after that very first sign of it if you're having an issue with it.
The thought of it, the intention of like, oh, I'm about to get ramped up. That's what you go after.
Mm-hmm. What big teeth you have, Bella. What big nose you have.
Eat my chicken with, Auntie Katie. To eat my chicken with. So yeah, you're totally right. It can escalate, and it'll escalate really, really quickly. Really, really quickly. So yeah.
Well, and because you don't want to be having to correct super high, you don't want to have to, try to break through that high arousal. It's much easier to do it when the dog is only just beginning, so that you don't have to do, huge corrections.
Yeah. Very true. So you're sniffing away. Ain't she cute? She's cute today.
Yeah.
Maybe she wants the treadmill. I don't know. Want treadmill? We're talking about, that's what I ask her. Want treadmill?
Want to go for a ride in the Jeep?
Yeah. When I tell her go swimming, I want her adrenalized. Because she's she's in that place. So that's why she knows that word. And like for a walk, what is that? She doesn't know that, because I wouldn't say that for a walk, because I need her totally focused.
Well, and she has really good obedience. She doesn't have any issues. She doesn't have any major issues.
Right.
That's what's important, is knowing that, if you say, oh, I just like to, ask my dog if he wants to go ride in the truck or whatever, and he also barks out the window all day long and, keeps away the mailman and doesn't let you get on your own bed because he owns it.
Treadmill.
Then you need to reevaluate. But if your dog doesn't have any issues and you have one little thing that you like to do with them that, breaks all the rules, Denise, then it's okay, because your dog is, very well behaved. So
see that figure? You see that figure?
You need to speed her up. Look, she looks like she's walking so slowly.
I forget we're in a live and we're not on one of our private shenanigans. But that's exactly what we do.
She's off. She's like, I'm done.
Don't scratch your butt on my rug. Dogs. Can't they respect like rugs and our like oh man, our decor? Let's see what else do we have? What else do we have?
So how about other common dog problems?
Well, pulling on the leash, and a lot of owners have dogs running out of the front door a lot. That I hear that a lot. I don't know about you, but over here that's what I hear a lot. We've got a lot of
so pulling on the leash, I find that prong collar is a really great tool. Yeah. And there's lots of videos out there of how to properly introduce a dog to prong collar. It's not just putting it on and having it like way down huge and just like, pulling away on the dog and letting them pull onto the prong. That's not, proper use. But if you learn how to do it properly, you can stop a dog, even a dog that pulls like a train, in probably between 10 and 15 minutes, teach them how to heel nicely on the leash.
Yeah, you've got page.
Yeah, I think, there's lots of trainers that have those videos up. And so if you can't hire a trainer, you can watch a video like that and get control of your dog enough so that you can walk them. Because to me, dogs need quality of life. And if they never leave the house, they get extremely bored. They start to do destructive things because they're not getting their energy needs met. So they are, turning either on themselves and like licking and biting themselves and chasing their tails, or they're destroying all of your furniture, getting into your trash. They're like making owners pull their hair out. And, people don't realize that if you can teach a dog to walk on a leash, you can improve that dog's quality of life because the owner is going to spend a little time every day, take them for a walk, and the dog is going to most likely at least reduce some of those other behaviors. Even if you're not addressing them all, the dog will at least have some of its, exercise needs met. But I can relate to that. Years ago I had a big lab and I had two small kids and we could not walk him. Really. And I had even gone to obedience classes with our previous dog and I couldn't walk him. I tried no pull harnesses. Yeah. I tried choke chain. I tried everything. And he was just really big. He was 110 pounds and he pulled like a train. So I couldn't push a stroller and try to control this, huge, monstrous dog. So I can relate to, the puppy is whining.
You're keeping a straight face. Pretty hilarious.
Yeah. I may need to run him outside, but I will let you keep going with the conversation, Denise. Okay. Pulling on leash. What was the other one? Running out the front door. Yeah. What would you do for that? What do you tell people for the front door?
Well, I mean, the way I started is, are you listening the whole time?
I'm listening. I'm just running outside with him. I'll be right back.
I like to start teaching boundaries first. So like I do the same like crate threshold drill that I do. So teaching the dog to go in and out of the, command in the kennel, multiple repetitions, because it shows them to wait. It'll show them how to wait at the front door too. So you can actually do the same thing at the front. Eventually, doing different commands while the door is open as well too, and like rewarding those behaviors when they do it well. And oh my goodness, I can't stand them. Eventually, when they get really advanced, obviously we put them on e-collar. But that's what I do. I teach them different boundaries, different thresholds at all the doors and stuff, and it slowly gets applied. So I just incorporate it every single day. It's just expected for you to wait at my side, either in a sit or a stand. Eventually, they get into a sit. It's just expected that you don't, rush out of the door. So in the beginning, I gently teach those, and as they get advanced, they do get a correction for bolting, any type of bolting, because that's what we're training. We're training reliability. So in case that does happen, you're able to get your dog back. It's really important. I have a lot of neighbors who their dogs just run out, and traffic, people come here, flying across, and you may not have that where you live, but we do. I do where I live. So we see a lot of off leash dogs here. Are not trained at all. He is so cute. Hey,
Moose.
Yeah. So
where are you going?
Besides like the boundary, and so I do the, like I was saying, I do the threshold at the kennel. I teach the place boundary, and I'll also do that while the door is open and hold them accountable to something that they do know, like place or whatever.
Yeah.
And do it like that. But it's just simply by repetition and doing that.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I don't know if I'm missing anything.
No, that's good. That's one really easy thing. Like the front door, the threshold, that is a huge thing, Yeah. And if it's also a problem, if you have a young dog, when they're in the house, they really should be on a leash anyway.
Yeah.
So when you're working on training and your dog's not fully trained, they really should be on a leash so that they're not just getting into stuff, or you have a way to get control of them when you need to. And that's another, safety tool when it comes to the front door. At least you have something. You could step on the leash. You could keep the dog tethered to you to keep them from bolting out the front door. But definitely teach that boundary.
Yeah, and they don't need tools, especially if they're young enough and they're, you're raising a really young dog. You can get that dog on a slip lead easy and start, rewarding what you do, like with food early on, and it just causes less stress for sure. Will you get the reliability? Might it take a long time depending on your dog? Some people are just like, well, I don't have tools, I don't want to use them. You're only going to get like limited results, I guess. Not all dogs are the same. Some do very well in just food training. Other ones, they don't. They will never learn that, that boundary to the level that we expect them to learn it on just solely rewards. They've never had, especially if they come in and they've never had a boundary of any kind before. That's not going to happen. The dog needs a little bit more clarity of how you want them to act when it comes to anything, and particularly the outdoor world has all the good stuff, and they're totally aroused, totally like, or aroused in any way, nervous, aroused towards fearful, aroused towards like, I hate people, I hate dogs, or aroused towards, yay, I'm excited, I want to go for a walk. So that arousal, like you said earlier, goes both ways.
Yeah.
So what do they taught you boundaries, huh? Like climbing on people and giving kisses. Oh, look at that.
I think he's tired. I tried to feed him, play with him, train him before, hoping that he would sleep, but apparently he wasn't done. So
did you hold him for the last live? I think you held him the whole time, or was it?
No, a couple weeks ago. I did.
You think you're gonna go? Do we have anything else?
I think one other big thing that owners struggle with is actually housebreaking.
Oh yeah.
And I think that it's something that ends up a lot of dogs getting surrendered to shelters. Because if your dog is making a mess in the house, it's very easy for families to get upset with each other. And for, you know, if you have a landlord, you can't keep your animal if they're messing in the house, and, you know, homes get destroyed and thousands of dollars of carpeting and things. And, you know, it's that's a huge issue, I think. And for me, what I think is that one thing people do, one mistake they do, is allowing too much freedom too soon. So the dogs are not really housebroken, and they don't really understand 100% fully where to go to the bathroom. And then people will, you know, let them go free in the house, free roaming, and the dogs start to make messes all over. And then, you know, the scent gets into the carpeting, and it gets into your flooring. And if you're not using an enzyme cleaner, dogs will mark on those same spots again. So people don't even realize, like, their dog, they'll say, she always goes in the bedroom and pees, you know, next to my son's bed. And
Yeah.
they don't understand why it's happening. But we've been cleaning it with Windex. And I don't understand why it's happening. So it's important people know, like, any kind of ammonia cleaner is not going to do it. Ammonia is actually very similar to, you know, there's ammonia in urine. And so if you're cleaning with an ammonia cleaner, then you're probably contributing to your dog feeling like the whole house is, you know, smells like pee. And, you know, so that's an issue. And some people use like vinegar and baking soda, and that doesn't get rid of it either. And, you know, like bleach will get rid of the smell of urine, but most people don't bleach their carpeting. It's really important that you buy a cleaner that's made specifically to get rid of pet urine, and that you clean it really thoroughly every time your dog has an accident.
You have one,
and, you know, like, what?
you've got one you recommend?
I use Nature's Miracle, just like the regular original Nature's Miracle. They make a lot of different kinds of, you know, stop marking and all different kinds. But the regular original, it's basically, it has like alcohol in it. And it seems to really get rid of, it has enzymes and alcohol, and he's being really difficult. And I know if I put him in there right now, he's going to whine and it's going to be loud. So let me grab a toy and see if he'll like chew on it.
He's getting so big, so fast. Sardines up in
Yeah, I weighed him. I weighed him the other day, and he's 15 pounds already.
Holy
So he's gained over 4 pounds since we've had him,
wow.
which is normal. A large breed puppy grows like 2 pounds a week. So, getting rid of the urine and then limiting the dog's freedom. So absolutely no free roaming. If you have, you can buy it at just about any pet store. I'm pretty sure like big box stores like Walmart and Target, they probably sell it. You can buy it online. I buy like a gallon of it at Chewy and have it shipped to me. Let's see, what else? Limit your dog's freedom.
Huh?
I'm sorry. What?
What dog's freedom? What?
Limit the dog's freedom. So the dog needs to be crated, because if you have a small crate, the dog will not want to go to the bathroom in it, most likely. I mean, most dogs don't want to soil the crate. If you have a huge crate and a tiny dog, you're going to struggle, because the dog is going to go to the bathroom in one end, and then it's going to lay in the other end. And so you want the crate to be small. The dog needs to be crated, and then as soon as you take the dog out, of the crate, it goes outside immediately. And then if it comes in after, after the dog goes to the bathroom, you could play for a few minutes, and then back into the crate. Like back into the crate, or if it's an older dog and you've taught them place command, they can be on place command, but they shouldn't just be able to wander around, because what dogs will do is go into another room where you're not and find a nice quiet spot and let it go. So if you can't do those things, if you can't, the dog can't do place command, then you can tether them to you. So have the dog on a leash, clip it onto your belt, and don't let the dog go anywhere without you. Because they won't go to the bathroom with you right there. The majority of them will not. They want to leave your side to go do it because they know that they're really not supposed to do it inside. Don't use pee pads, because pee pads encourage a dog to use the bathroom inside. So remember, when you're starting housebreaking, you always want to have the rule, you only go to the bathroom outside.
A lot of dogs who are peeing the carpet, a lot of it is two things: too much freedom and excitability pee. There's a lot of people, again, that arousal, and then the dogs are like letting it out. So the moment they come home, hey puppy, again, feeding into way back to that live we did on separation anxiety. So now we're tying it to arousal. So like really young dogs, that happens a lot too. Before you get them out, even like getting them out of the kennel is like, oh God, oh God, oh God. So if you're not helping wind that down a bit, either by asking them to go into a sit or just simply waiting if the dog doesn't have any obedience, to try to have that dog build up the control, the bladder control, because it's not necessarily a potty problem. I get that.
Right.
My dog's like letting it out, and they think it's actually a housebreaking problem. It's an excitability problem.
And another thing you can do if you have a dog like that is when you get home, don't take the dog out right away. Wait about 10 minutes. When you get home, wait 10 minutes. Go do something else. Put away your groceries, sit down, take a few minutes to decompress, and the dog will be calm by that time. When it's been 10 to 15 minutes, then go take the dog outside. Because when you first come in the door, they all get excited. Oh my gosh, they're home, like so excited. And if they have, like weak bladder muscles and they're young, they can't hold it when they're so excited. So if you can just wait a few minutes, you can sort of at least stack the deck on your side, instead of against you. And I'm trying to think what else. Marking dogs should not be given any free roaming in the house, because they will go everywhere. You can get a black light, and you can check your home at night and make sure you're cleaning all the spots, if you've had a dog that's been marking. And you can correct marking with an e-collar. It doesn't make the dog like not want to pee or anything. It just doesn't allow them to do it in your home. And, then you do lots of structure. You do place command and crate time and tethering them to you. And, then they can start to earn freedom. And it's the same thing for a dog who, if you can take your dog outside, like this guy, he's 10 weeks old. And from probably 2 days after we got him, he would go to the bathroom on command. So I bring him to the potty spot and I say potty, and he immediately goes pee. And if you can get your dog to go on command, you know that you're going to be able to bring them out when they need to go and get them to go. And then they can come in and have some playtime. So. This guy, he gets up, like if he's in the crate or whatever, if he whines and I know he's got to go, geez, Moose, he might have to go again.
Can you give me a little close up? You haven't given me anything.
If he gets up and I know he has to go.
Look at that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's you can see that like that development. He's just like, there's better things around here.
He might actually have to go to the bathroom again too, but
Yeah.
because he gets antsy when he has to go. He goes right outside. I say the word. He starts going. Once he's finished, then he comes in and we do some training and some playtime. And it's only in one room. Like we have the kitchen gated off and he only plays right here. And I watch him so he's not getting into trouble. I have it all like, you know, puppy proofed. I don't have to worry about anything. And then I watch because dogs show signs that they have to go. So they start, if you see a dog start to sniff the ground and like walk around and sniffing the ground, they've got to go to the bathroom. That's when you need to get your puppy outside right away. And then they also, like if you go to the same spot, he starts to go to the door. He will go to the door. He gets really antsy. He starts like jumping up on things and I know he's got to go. So I bring him out, he goes, and then we come back in. And so that's just, you know, that's a puppy. But
Yep.
adult dogs, it's very similar. It doesn't matter what age your dog is. If it's not house trained, you got the same job. You need to teach it to go outside and try to avoid potty accidents in the house. What can you do to avoid the accident? Limit the freedom, watch for signs that the dog has to go, and, you know, teach them a command to go potty or go pee or hurry up or whatever you want to use.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. There's actually a lot more to it. Like if you're having a dog that's having trouble using the bathroom in the crate, that's another whole issue. And like another whole, you know, there's a lot of things that you can do to prevent that. So even with this guy, he doesn't like to use the bathroom in his crate, but I also feed him in there, like kibble on the floor of it, so that he doesn't want to go in there. I'll do that. And that's something that, you know, people can do if they have a dog that has an issue with going in the crate. It kind of triggers their natural instinct to keep the den clean. And where they eat, they don't want to use the bathroom. So, where are you going? All right. Is it 8 o'clock yet?
That's the cue, baby. That's the cue. It is 8 on the morning.
All right. Okay. Well, this has been fun. We will have to do it again.
Muchas gracias.
And if anybody has a topic they can think of, leave it in the comments under this on the replay or whatever, and we will try to cover whatever you guys want us to talk about.
Yeah, that'll one other one. We get questions, and not the last one. We didn't get any questions. We need questions.
Yeah, and if you have questions, leave them for us and meet us. Hopefully, it'll be next Monday, same time, same place. I gotta go. Have a good night.
Night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.